Hello world. The release of the DeepSeek-R1 model has taken the world by storm, owing to its powerful reasoning model and also yet cheap to train. So in this tutorial video, I'm going to show you how you could build a LM-powered chatbot with this DeepSeek-R1 model right inside Snowflake using Streamlit. And so without further ado, let's dive in. So you're going to see here that this chatbot is essentially built with Streamlit. It will allow you to specify the model parameter on the sidebar using the slider widget. You could also clear the chat history as the conversation becomes longer and longer. And you could type in your question, and then as the LM model generates the answer, it will also think. It will provide the reasoning behind the LM generated answer, and then we're going to encapsulate that in a status widget. And so I'm going to show you that in just a moment. So why don't we show the code and also the app side by side. So you're going to see here that we have less than 100 lines of code, 99 lines to be exact. And so the first few lines here, we're going to import the necessary libraries. So obviously we're going to import Streamlit as the front end UI. We're going to import the getActive session from Snowflake Snowpark context. We're going to import pandas as PD, also JSON, and the RE built-in library. Next, we're going to define the page title, which is DeepSeek-R1 Chatbot. And then we're going to specify that we want to have the sidebar to be initially expanded so that when you see the app, it will not be collapsed, but then the sidebar will be shown. So as I expand the app to be larger, it will be in the expanded state. All right, and now we're going to define the helper functions. So you'll see here that we have a total of 4. So the clear chat history is the functionality that will allow us to clear the chat messaging history. And that essentially is replacing the chat history with a single line of history, which is the row of the assistant asking, how may I assist you? And then we're going to have helper functions for processing the SQL strings, which will be used during the LM generation process. Next, we're going to have the extract think content functionality that will allow us to parse the information from the generated thought process of the R1 model. And then we're going to display the thought process inside a status widget. And then the main response will be the generated response or answer, which will be displayed underneath. And then lines 28 until 42, it will take in the user prompt, and then it will generate the LM response using the DeepSeek-R1 model. And then we're going to select the content of the generated response. And so this generated answer will be parsed by the extracting content. So all of the initial values that are set here, and also the minimum and maximum values that are set by all of the model parameter widgets, are actually defined by the model params variable. So it is a dictionary of the various parameters along with all of the minimum, maximum, default, and also the step size of each of the parameter. So instead of having to define it separately in each of the slider widget, we're going to create this for loop in generating all of the model parameter widgets. So that will be from lines 59 until 68 as we read in all of the parameter values, and then iteratively in a for loop, we're going to generate all of the widgets here. All right, and so you're going to see that before that, we're going to create a sidebar, which has the title of DeepSeek-R1 Chatbot, which is right here. And then we're including the emojis here of the whale and the chat emojis. And then we also include the button for the clear chat history. And note that here we're using the on-click callback function. And then we're calling the helper function, the clear chat history, which will then clear the conversation history here by replacing it with this line, which is essentially the memory of the assistant asking, how may I assist you? Okay, and then let's proceed to lines 72 and onwards. So when the app loads for the first time, it will initialize the chat history, and it will save that chat history into the messages variable of the session state variable. So that will be assigned to st.sessionState.messages variable, which is the initial conversational history. And then for each of the message that the user provide in the chat input widget here, it will write the message right here. So I'll show you that in just a moment. As you type in your message, it will be displayed here because of these lines of code. And as you hit enter or click on the button here, it will initiate the if condition. And so whatever you type into the box here, into the chat message box here, it will be assigned to the prompt variable. And then it will print it out here. And it will also be appended to the conversational history. And then you'll see on the screen that it will then process the LLM response by printing out thinking. And after a few moments, you're going to see the status widget, which will display the thought process. And then subsequently, you'll also see the parsed content of the thought process. And then you're going to see the parsed content of the generated answer underneath it right here. So it will be using st.markdown to write it out. And all of the associated formatting or styling from the markdown will be printed out as well. And then finally, we're going to append the generated response to the conversational history into the st.sessionState.messages variable. And then the conversational history will grow upon every question and generated answer. And so all of this will be performed in the 99 lines of code. So why don't we have a look at it in action? So as we load it for the first time, this is how the chatbot will look like. And we could adjust to max token as needed. So let's start with a very simple question, 1 + 1. Hit on enter, and that will initiate the prompt to generate the response. And so as the model is thinking, it is performing the reasoning. And so you could see the underlying thought process right here in the expandable box here. And then you'll be able to see what the LM model is thinking about before generating the answer. So here it says, okay, the user sent a message, 1 + 1. They want me to calculate 1 + 1, and that is a simple arithmetic problem. The answer is 2, and then it will double check to see whether there's any trick here. But then no, it's straightforward, and then they provided the answer, which is 2. And so the result of 1 + 1 is 2. Let's have another one. What is Python? Or how about what is Streamlit? And now we're going to increase the max token to 100. And let's ask the question again. And so do note here that the max token here could be increased in your code. So we're limiting it to a relatively low number here in order to allow the generated response to consume tokens at a reasonable number. And so here is the generated answer. Streamlit is an open source Python library designed for building interactive web applications quickly for data science, machine learning, and data visualization projects. So if you look at the thought process, you're going to see that it's trying to link the 1 + 1 with the second question. And it'll tell you that it needs to recall what is Streamlit, and then from what it remembers from its memory, and then is sequentially telling us what it is. It's a Python library. It allows users to create interactive web apps. It allows developers to create dashboards. It's open source. And then there's several other points. And then it arrives at the conclusion that, okay, that covers the basics of the answer. And then it proceeds with providing the answer. And note here that it's trying to link the first question with the second question. And then it generates the final response. All right. And so if you don't want this, you could provide it as a prompt that you don't want it to link to the prior generated response. You could add that into the system's prompting as well. So I'll leave that up to you. And do let me know in the comment section down below how you're finding this and how you're intending to repurpose this for your use case. And so I'd love to read all of that. And so let me know in the comment section what other video ideas that you'd like me to create. And so until next time, happy streamliting.